think it's a good idea to... No, I'm not talking to you. What's up?
I have to blow my nose real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm making a commitment to making sure I start every new episode with no templates. I made the first 2 episodes of season 2. Well, I made the first one from scratch, but the second one I just opened up the same session and just kind of ripped a lot of those elements to the same one, and I think it's just better to start with a blank canvas each time. Although I do still like the idea of certain segments, you know, like something that feels like an intro, something that feels like a story, those musical interludes. This is PodTalk, ColorCast.
This is PodTalk,
ColorCast, ColorCast, ColorCast. So
Not some Texas toast?
No. I'm cool with a template in terms of the format of the show to an extent, like a loose one. But I don't want...
Please scoot over.
Well, I turned on the mic to try to figure out what's stressing me out. I think I've actually kind of gotten to the bottom of it. As you can hear, my situation's noisy, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm realizing I'm stressed because we got a job. We're living right next to where we're going to be working, and I've always been able to somewhat separate my weird personality. Like, I've been able to dilute it for my working situations and just kind of inject it in a nice, balanced way. And it's not that I don't think I can do that here, but I'm already kind of feeling the pressure of limitations of, you know, like right now, it's like around dinner time. I live in a small RV. I can't expect the whole RV to shut down just because I have some thoughts that I want to record on a podcast. That's really irrational and, like, selfish of me. So the logical thing would be to just step outside and record at the picnic table. But this is a very enclosed and very, like, tightly packed RV spot, and all of my soon-to-be coworkers literally take their smoking breaks right beside it. So it's like, do I really want to have to explain to people why I'm talking about, or like, well, people won't even ask, like, maybe, I don't know. It's just that whole thing. It's Normal Nudes. It's that song. I'll play that here for context. You are alone, you let the guard down. They're walking by, they're getting close now. Should I stop? Should I start performing? I'm so tired of thinking about how Decorate my skin as if I'm naked. Is it normal yet for us to just be naked? Yellow.
Hey, what's up, man?
Is it cool if I record this? I might put it in my podcast.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's Eldar. He's working on that song that you just heard. It's in progress. I put out a version of it on YouTube, and he's kind of trying to help me polish it. So we're in the process of making that. So that's a little bit of context. Back to it.
Recording this, it's now like, oh, okay, maybe don't say stupid shit. So, yeah.
You've said stupid shit before?
No, I'm just kidding.
You
But
want
yeah,
to
that's
list?
totally fine.
You want to list every stupid thing you've said?
Dude, that'd be really hard. So no,
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
He actually hasn't said anything stupid to me ever. Just for the record as well. Alright, so I listened and I dwelled upon it. And I think like this version is like a good version of it, but it's kind of like gotten away from a lot of what I liked about it, like when I first made it. It feels lush, which isn't
Right.
a bad thing in general, but like I found myself not connecting to it as much anymore, I think.
Yeah, that is pretty understandable. I listened to it the other day, and what I picked up from it was that second piano layer I had has so much high end in it. So it like almost sounds like it's really hi-fi, you know, the piano layer. I think that's kind of taking away from it. Maybe the strings are kind of like making it more theatrical. But this is really interesting to me because this is, you know, you have full creative control, and I don't want to like pressure you into anything. I think if I can advise anything is to pull away some of the hi-fi of it, and I'm going to reference your original and see if I can like pull it closer. I do want to keep it, I do want some of the cleanliness to be there though. What are your thoughts on that?
Two of the bullet points I had were literally the strings, and then I also had the same thought with the piano, was that it felt like kind of brittle and kind of like, I don't know, I kind of see this song like, you listen to Sufjan Stevens?
Yes, that's like where my head went when I heard your vocal. First time I opened the stems. I don't even know why. I don't even know if there's a song of his that sounds similar, but that's funny you said that.
The reason it makes me feel like that is kind of for that reason of like some of his music is super lush, but like this conversation goes on, and I'm not going to make you listen to the whole thing, but I wanted to include it because it's obviously relevant to the version of Normal Nudes that you heard. I also think it's interesting just to hear the process. That conversation goes on for an hour unedited. We get into very, very technical things. You know, we get into very minute details. And it would just probably be boring to listen to if you don't have an active interest in this specific song being made. But it was such a fun conversation, and I love conversations like that. And I love talking with Eldar, and I love talking with the other people that I work with, and I love that process of like figuring out how to share a language and figuring out how to like kind of create this tangible thing that you can listen to out of these abstract ideas and tools that you can use. It's really, really interesting. No two people are the same, and I'm enjoying the process on this one. And I enjoy the process with all of them. But that was a bit of a deviation, wasn't it? Right? Like we're deep in a tangent right now. I feel like I was trying to work something out. I thought it felt like a sad boy loop. Young lean shouts out the drought. Look at us now, stalking all the shelves, saying whatever comes to the tip of my mouth. Make it feel good, bury medicine deep beneath the hood, and flowing to the next state, flowing to the next job, flowing to the next date, flowing to the next year. The ironic part about this, my voice is never that deep. That's not the ironic thing, though. The ironic thing is that I just freestyled that entire thing outside. Which is, the whole issue that I had when I started recording this was this feeling that I couldn't be myself outside. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people who can see me doing this, and none of them care. None of them care. They're all camping, they're having a good time. So, that's cool. I'm so happy this kind of solved it for me. So now I want to introduce somebody, one of my friends, Corey. I've offered her this podcast as an outlet whenever she feels like sending me anything, and she happened to send me something yesterday that I felt like was perfect for kind of what I've been feeling and what I've kind of been expressing over the course of this. So I'm going to hand you over to Corey for a second.
Chorus come in. No more sad stories come in. The midnight moonlight morning glories coming, aren't you, girl? And like I told you, when she holds you, she enfolds you in her world.
Hello, Will, others. Let me turn the metronome off. Actually, I wish the metronome would turn back on now. I can't get it back on. What the fuck? Okay, you can turn the metronome off during a recording, but you can't turn it on. I think the metronome gives a good pace to my speech. Maybe that's why it's a bit difficult to converse with people sometimes. Maybe I need to keep one headphone in of a metronome at all times, and I'll be able to express myself a little better. So that goes to the topic of today. Expressing ourselves. There's a lot of ways to express ourselves. And I think we're all doing a good job at it. And I think we should give ourselves some peace of mind. Because we're all doing the best we can. And if we're all open to others' ways of communicating and interpreting the world, I think we're gonna be just fine. Because sometimes after you talk with others, you can get this feeling of dull regret. Did I say the right thing? Did I feel the right emotions? Was my mind present enough? And hey, maybe that's just me at this point in my life right now. But there's always room for growth, and that makes me feel positive. And you're only what you are, how you are in that moment. I am never gonna be different than what I am in that moment, besides the next moment when I'm working to be different in a positive way than I am right now. There's always things to look at. I said some words The metronome is blaring full blast in my little ears, and I just really like that about the metronome, that it speaks its mind when it needs to, keeps us on track, like a good book or a tasty snack. Yeah?
That's when she said, my name is Corey. You can say I'm just a friend.
This is a color, by the way. This tone, this feeling, this is a color. One that I'm not gonna shy away from using if I have to. I'm not really hurting anything by talking into a microphone. You know, in general, my weirdness isn't really hurting anything, but this is all reminding me of how having a job forces you to put certain parts of yourself into a container that it doesn't fit, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. That's the thing. It's like, I could go out there, and there's no rule saying that I can't sit there at that picnic table and record this. There's no rule against that, but there's fear. And there's laziness. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. It was a bit of a somber tone, but I think ultimately pretty positive. Tune in 2 weeks for the next one, and if you like it, connect with me on Instagram or through just the Will's Notebooks YouTube. Or I'm a dude, you know. I try to brand all this stuff, but I'm still figuring it out. If you like it and want to connect further, find me, talk to me on the internet, that is. Most of this episode came from one long recorded audio file, the one with a lot of noise in it. I want to revisit that for one more little blurb to send you out. So once again, I hope you enjoyed yourself. See y'all real soon. Or at least you'll hear me real soon. I don't know what the fuck here's the outro clip. And then it always comes back to my intentions, doesn't it? Ultimately. It's not blame that I can place on someone else. Ultimately, because the thing that will allow me to either be myself or not be myself in this situation is my own intentions. Because if your intentions are pure, no matter how it gets tested, the result will be the same. So the only reason this should be a matter of anxiety whatsoever is if I myself don't trust my own intentions in any way, shape, or form. So there's the magnifying glass. There's the ant. And the sun ain't out, so I can't burn it. And that probably would be bad if people heard it. So I won't do any such thing to the insect beneath.